Hello, this is Zach. This is a overdue, and I apologize for that, but a fourth video for my series on this YouTube channel, showing off the History Maker Golf tracker app by Reggie Bowers. Again, no credit, all credit to Reggie for making this. I did not do it. I am not nearly smart enough for that, but I have some YouTube videos going over how to use this app, and it'd been a while. It's been too long since I did the season setup video that I said I would possibly do. And some people have been asking for it in the comments. So here we go. Just gotta start from the top here. You see we are in the main menu, so we'll go to season mode here. And here's where it asks you if you want to, or what season you want to use, what you want to call it, whether you want to use playoffs, whatever the case may be. So, for the sake of this demonstration, let's just call this a test. And we'll use we'll use the 2000 stars, why not? So let's just say we're going to start the season with the Sony Open. And there's our list of courses. Whatever purse amount you want, we'll just type in a number here. The theme is supposed to show you what broadcast graphics show up when you're on the leaderboard. I'm not entirely sure it works, but that's whatever. It's merely cosmetic anyway, and then you can select the tier of the event, which matters more if you're doing the FedEx Cup playoff format. Obviously, for an older season, it's again just kind of a cosmetic thing that affects the FedEx standings that show up in the tracker, but if you're not using the playoffs, if you've unchecked this, then it really doesn't make a huge difference. Add event. And then you can kind of just continue accordingly as you see fit. Just continue adding events. And the good news is you don't have to I'm just kind of making stuff up as I go here. But you don't have to install the whole schedule up front if you do not want to do so. And so we'll just, I'll add a few more here off screen, and then we'll proceed to the season itself. As you can see here, I've put together a little 12 event schedule. Certainly not a complete season, but maybe this is all, again, the app gives you that flexibility. Maybe you want to do a shorter season, especially if you were doing one of the season stars sets or whatever the case may be. So everything should be at least good to go to start your season. So click that button there. There you see it leads off with the Sony Open. That first tournament I put in, you see the standings off to the right here. And there is your season all set up and ready to go. And then you start a tournament by clicking play. And then that goes through the process you saw in the previous video about how to set up a tournament. Now, if you want to go into the schedule here, add an event, you see there is that option. So let's say we want to add a Canadian Open. Go in here. Yeah, I have a Canadian course loaded in here somewhere. Can really say. Probably something I should have thought about before. Oh, there's Glen Abbey. Perfect. And let's call that a $1 million event. Be a normal event. And then, so that puts it, since I do have the playoffs turned on, it defaults as the last event in my regular season. However, you can frag click and drag and move it around as you see fit. If you want to have it earlier or even the next event on your schedule, you can move it wherever you please. We'll drop it right here for now. It's fine. I'm not planning on actually playing out this season or anything, so I'm just kind of demonstrating what's going on here. And then players, that lets you look at the players. You can also edit them if you need to make any changes, or you can look at their stats. And I might open one of my older or ongoing projects to kind of show that off. And then FedEx Cup obviously takes you to the standings. Now, if you come back, a little bit, I'll admit, a little bit confusing the first time you see it, but say you want to continue an existing season, you go season mode, and it takes you to this setup screen. And it's like, well, no, I want to continue something I have going on. Well, over here is your load season. You can see there's where our test showed up, as well as ongoing projects I have. We'll open up 1994. Why not? There you see the TFNs that are ongoing, as well as the ability to add a TFN, at which point you can update that, which I believe I showed that in another video, as well as the ability to move TFNs. Like I mentioned, you click on a golfer and see their results thus far in the playthrough, as well as going to the standings, seeing their progress over here in the standings. You can also click on somebody's name over here, and you can see these plus signs. They'll actually show you if they were one of your featured golfers in a tournament. There you can see their scorecard for the final round as well. And in this one, obviously, there is no FedEx Cup. And a lot of these, like I said, I will sometimes just add to the schedule as I go, depending on when I add courses or whatever the case may be, rather than stressing about having the schedule entirely complete before starting the season. But that's entirely up to you. I believe that pretty much covers everything as far as setting up a season. The only other thing I could mention in passing, there are some preloaded logos for some of the tournaments. So if you want those to show up, you can see those in the README, which is either gets installed when you install this. It also appears on the GitHub for this app. It's actually not in the README. I lied. It is in a separate file titled tournament logo names.txt. There's also a way to custom add logos that involves going into your app data folder and adding those the same way you can add a golfer headshot. If I wanted to add in some of these golfers that don't have headshots, I could do that. I have not taken the luxury of really doing either of those, but it is an option. And maybe I'll make a video on that. I make no promises because that's a little bit outside of my realm of expertise, but I know it is a thing. I know it is a thing, and I have tinkered with it very minimally. But I'd hate to speak on a voice of authority on that, so I don't know about all that. But that at least gets you looking towards it, because I think yeah, you can kind of see instead of these PGA Tour logos, if it were an event that had that logo set up, that would pop up in this space or while you are conducting the. I don't know if it'll show one of these tournaments I've already done or not. But yeah, you can see where those it's loaded in already. And if I were to make, let's say, but I guess it showed up in my demonstration earlier, but let's say the FedEx St. Jude Classic. that's one that the the name of the tournament is in the database. So when I make this, it will go up with that logo there, and you'll see that in other places. If I were to start, I didn't. Yeah, I'm just a terrible job here, but there. That's how that looks. So anyway, that gives you an idea of some of the options at your disposal here. Um, Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy using this app further to improve your History Maker Golf experience.